They don't tell you. They use some industry jargon. The GIA has graded this diamond that has eye visible inclusions as D Flawless. So guess what you're going to see? You're going to see the customer buying that diamond because they've been told the GIA must have made a mistake, they must have switched the stone in the packet or whatever. Why and when did diamonds that were fluorescent get discounted? A fluorescent diamond that is crystal clear is demonstrably brighter and whiter.
This is the third and final part of the series where Garry Holloway explains his process of selecting the most beautiful diamonds. So far, in part 1 and 2, he took you through the first 4 steps where he started with 7,423 GIA XXX Excellent round brilliant cut diamonds, rejected most of them, and now we have 132 diamonds left. In this video, he is going to reduce this number in the last 3 steps to 93 Holloway diamonds that, as Garry puts it, he would be happy and proud to sell to his loved ones.
Next, we're going to move on to transparency. Where did the GIA tell you that this is milky?
Well, not.
They did. They have. They told me it's milky.
The computer can show, but the certificate not.
Comments. The clarity is based on clouds that are not shown. Right? So, they don't say this is a milky diamond. They don't tell you. They use some industry jargon. Industry jargon. Terrible. So, if you looked at the plot and you looked at the fact that this is an Si2 diamond, you would be saying to yourself, wow, this is a good diamond. Wow. And it's really deeply discounted. It's much bigger discount than a normal Si2. So I'm going to buy this diamond. Right? But guess what? The reason that it looks like a VS2 on the plot is because the clarity grade is based on clouds that are not shown. So the grade maker is the clarity grade. I think that's cheating. So clouds are just deceptive jargon. So typically we would reject another 14 of these stones. We would have rejected more, but we've already rejected, because there are lots of these stones. We would have rejected more because we've already rejected in the first stage with our spreadsheet of the 2,400 stones, we've kicked out the stones where clouds were the grade maker. So this is a typical example. You probably can't see it from where you're sitting, but there are little clouds and little spots and little specks all through this stone. This side of the stone is a VS2. It's a regular VS2. There would have been some more inclusions in the other side too. This side is flawless. So again, it looks like a bargain. It looks like a lab mistake. Graining. The clarity grade is based on internal graining that is not shown. And in this case, an Si1 diamond with not a single mark on the inclusion plot. Not a single mark. So again, an unscrupulous retailer is potentially going to offer this diamond to a consumer and show it to them under a microscope with 10 or 20 power, and you can't see a damn thing in the stone. So guess what you're going to see? You're going to see the customer buying that diamond because they've been told the GIA must have made a mistake, they must have switched the stone in the packet or whatever. But trust me, you know, because I'm a jeweller, and this is a bargain. But it's a milky, hazy, sleepy, dull diamond. Of course, once it's dirty, they're all sleepy, hazy, milky, dull diamonds. So, just again, more deceptive jargon. Sometimes you'll see twinning as in these comments, very, very rarely. Twinning is something that I'm more inclined to want to buy. So now we've got 101 stones left. Typically, a few percent of the stones are going to go out for this. So now we've got an example of graining. Right? You can see up here, right, the graining on this diamond, and it's a carat 59 D Flawless. The GIA has graded this diamond that has eye visible inclusions as D Flawless. Their mission statement is to protect consumers. Somebody's going to buy that diamond. Right. That diamond isn't lit from behind, it's lit from the front. It's tilted. I've done a screenshot from a video, so it's not even a super high resolution photograph. Right. You can see I've tilted the stone slightly. It flashes on and off. It appeared in some other sides too. In fact, you can still see a little bit of it over here. So, the GIA very, very often miss internal graining. Do you know how GIA grade diamonds for clarity? Anybody know?
I want to say AI.
That's correct. Yep. They take photographs of the diamonds. They send the photographs to IBM. They have a partnership with IBM. IBM has been matching for about 5 years the photographs and the graders' reports. And basically, they've sacked all of the people under half a carat who were doing the grading, and now they really only have a few people who do the grading on what they consider to be complex calls. Does anybody know why they miss the graining? That's part of it? Thanks, Laura. That's part of it. Does anybody have a guess as to why they miss the graining? Somebody said the lighting. And what lighting conditions have we been teaching people to use to grade clarity? Relative to the diamond, where is the light?
Just slightly behind the diamond.
Yeah, behind the diamond. Yep. And that's the reason why graining often gets a worse clarity grade, because when you light most diamonds with internal graining, twinning, sorry, take that back. Twinning, when you backlight it, shows up amazingly strongly. But when you frontlight it, it's almost always very hard to see. SI2 maybe not, but SI1, most of the diamonds I've ever seen with a clarity grade based on twinning absolutely look fine to me. You can see stuff with a loop when you backlight it. Yeah. So the GIA, all of the photographs I've seen from articles that they've put out, the diamonds are always backlit. And so when you backlight, it's actually easy to see twinning, hard to see graining. Fluorescence, one of my favourite subjects. Why and when did diamonds that were fluorescent get discounted? It was in May 1993 in Korea, in South Korea. South Koreans didn't trust labs from other countries, and the people who were running the labs in South Korea were buying as many fluorescent diamonds as they could and grading them with lamps that pumped out a lot of UV light. Even the GIA was doing the same thing. The GIA changed their system in 2001. They didn't tell anybody that they'd changed their system until 2008. So what actually happened was the Korean, because back in 1993, Koreans weren't as wealthy as they are now. So there were a wealthy cohort of people who went back after this TV expose, like an after the news TV expose, told everybody that their diamonds had been overgraded for colour if they were fluorescent. So all the customers took their diamonds back and said, I want my money back, or I want a non-fluorescent diamond with a GIA grading report. So this caused a dumping of diamonds from South Korea that were predominantly larger, big, high-value diamonds, because the only people who could really afford diamonds were these wealthy big factory owners, big end of town. And so we got a discount, right? The discount initially went up, and then it went down a little bit. And then when the internet kicked in, everybody said, if it's discounted, it must be bad. The rest is history. So that's how we got to the situation. Now, Harry Winston died, I think, late 80s. He was an absolute fan of fluorescent diamonds. Most of you have probably seen the photograph of the necklace, the Harry Winston necklace, where half of the photo is white and the other half is fluorescent. Down the middle of this amazing necklace with marquise and pear-shaped diamonds, probably worth $1 million or more. And almost all of the diamonds are blue fluorescent. When he could, he bought blue fluorescent diamonds. But you do need to make sure that it's not a milky hazy one. It is scattered inclusions like the fine silk in clouds or the internal graining, and sometimes the twinning. So they are the things that cause the diamond to become milky or hazy. If the diamond is crystal clear, it can have inclusions, it can have crystal inclusions, it can have feathers even, not too many. So the way I grade these diamonds is I hold them the way we've been trained to look at clarity. I hold them very close to an old-fashioned fluorescent tube. LED won't work. It has to be an old-fashioned fluorescent tube, the sort that diamond graders use all around the world. So when you hold it close to the tube, in this case, this is the tube here, right? It's like 1 centimetre or 2 away. I use the front of the light to screen so I'm not blinded by the light. And we're looking for this stone to light up as you bring it closer and closer to the lamp. And it gets milky. Yeah. If it's very strong, it's probably going to show that petrol-y, like when you put whiskey and water together, that sort of strange sort of thing that we call petrol-y. So, in actual fact, a fluorescent diamond that is crystal clear is demonstrably brighter and whiter. It's brighter because it picks up a little bit of a blue glow. You can't see that in daylight. You really have to be in the dark. But that extra little bit of light that's coming out of the stone makes it brighter. And blue cancels out yellow, which yellow and brown are the most common colours of diamond. So it becomes whiter. And in fact, what we used to call, before 1993, we would call those diamonds blue-white. Yeah? Because they had that bluish hue. And the blue-white diamonds used to sell for 20% more before 1993.